All right. So you found your space to pray. You're showing up to meet with God. But now what? How do you get the conversation started? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to find the words to launch that conversation with God. And at the end of the video, I will tell you how you can get a 7-day guide to help you break the ice and open the door for some great conversations with God. Hi, I'm Jeremy, and I love to produce content that will refresh your spirit, refresh your mind, and refresh your vision. In our last video, we said that the first key to a successful prayer life was setting a place and a time to meet with God, and then making an effort to show up on a regular basis. Now, if you didn't get to see that episode, don't worry. You can catch up by clicking on the card up here, and you can follow along. And if you've been enjoying this series, please give this video a like and push the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you know the instant the next video is uploaded. So, you've been showing up. That's good. But what next? Over the years, I've had the opportunity to talk to many people about prayer, and probably one of the more common questions or thoughts that I get is this: I would love to pray, but I don't know what to say. So when it comes time to talk to God, what do we actually say? How can we get that conversation started? And I would like to start this by telling you a story. Now, this is about Jesus, and one day he and his disciples were walking towards a village when he encountered a group of men. Now, these guys were keeping their distance, and Jesus soon figured out why. One of the men called over to him and said that he and his 9 friends had leprosy. This man had heard that Jesus could heal them, and as he was speaking, the men behind him also began to call out, "Lord, please help us, please heal us, please make us whole." Jesus looked at them for a moment, and then he said, "Go, show yourselves to the priests," and then continued on his way. The men turned and began walking, but soon you could hear the exclamations of joy as one by one they realized that they had been healed. Later in that day, as Jesus was sitting with his disciples, a man approached him. "Excuse me, sir." "Yes," said Jesus. "I was a foreigner traveling with some men who I had recently met. Like me, they suffered from leprosy. This morning I was with them when they asked if you would heal us. Now look, my skin is completely clean. Thank you. Thank you for giving me back my life." Jesus looked at the man and smiled. "Weren't there 10 of you?" he asked. The man nodded. "Yet only you came back to say thank you?" And that's where the story ends. Now, this might seem to be a funny story to use to talk about prayer. However, it can be great help to us when we start talking to God. You see, 10 men approached Jesus, and all of them brought a request to him. Jesus heard their request and even gave them what they asked for. But the man who came back got something more valuable. He began to enter into a dialogue with God. And the key to unlocking that conversation was 2 simple words: thank you. Now, anyone can cry out to God in a crisis. In fact, there's a saying that there are no atheists in a foxhole. And if we get out of a tricky situation, 9 times out of 10, we forget God and go merrily on our way, just like the lepers in the story. But if we, like the non-man who came back, make the effort to offer God a heartfelt thank you, it can change the very nature of our relationship with him. For all that God has done, for all that God is doing, for all that God will do for us, how many people actually stop and say thank you? Can you imagine what it's like when one of us actually says something? Can you imagine how he would feel if one of us witnesses the magnificence of Norway's fjords and in a rush of heady wonder begins to thank him for the glory and the majesty and the grandeur of his creation? Can you see how this could open up a way for God to begin to enter into a dialogue with us? I found that when I open my prayer time with being truly thankful, It opens my heart to connect with His. It draws His attentions. His presence becomes almost palpable. He wants to engage with me, and it gives us something to begin to talk about. This week's assignment is all about thankfulness. Each day this week, I want you to show up with your tea, your coffee, and your favorite treat to spend time with God. I want you to open your notebook and begin to write down things that you are thankful for. And then thank God from the bottom of your heart. One thing that I've found is that when I'm starting something like this, I go to write down a list of things to be thankful for, and my mind just goes blank. So what I've done is I've created a 7-day guide to thankfulness. All you have to do to get it is click the link in the description below. I can honestly say that it's worth the effort to take time to thank God, but I want you to try it yourself. That is all for this week. Until next time, keep looking upwards, keep moving onwards, and I will see you in the next video.